Hi, this is Kelly, and I thought I'd show you some things that I'm finding as I'm moving from my Michigan home, former home, and Angels Among Us Youth Camp, the facility that I still own, and moving things to my Montana cabin and future home of my Montana Angels Among Us Youth Camp. So I was a Michigan State Trooper. We had full state police powers. We were not highway patrol. And prior to that, I was a police officer in numerous different agencies. And this was my certified academy in '96, my first one. And before that, I was a Marine deputy at Midland County Sheriff Department. But after 1996, I became a certified officer, working first for St. Louis Police Department, and then later for Saginaw Chippewa Tribal Police Department, and then later for Meridian Township Public Safety for a brief moment until they went back police fire separate. And then I became a state trooper and eventually followed my dream of becoming a Michigan conservation officer, where I worked for 12.5 years. And sorry, these are dusty and dirty and now they have snowflakes on them because I'm out here under my porch where I bought property and remodeled it and made my youth camp about 10 years ago when I became a conservation officer in the UP. I was a conservation officer for 12.5 years. This was one of the versions of my uniform, and this was my grandmother when she visited me up in the Upper Peninsula. She visited a few times after that up in the Upper Peninsula, and she's still alive and well at 92. So I'm moving from this facility. A lot of you probably know that I had to quit my job as a Michigan conservation officer per the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service mandate as part of a plea reference me getting in trouble in Canada for shooting a wolf in self-defense and then later tagging it, which was against the law. I passed the polygraph, it was in self-defense, but they said it didn't matter because I should not have bought a license and skinned it and tagged it. So they made me plead to one charge, which actually wasn't the most specific, charge that they could have had, so it's a little erroneous, but I had that option where they were going to try to charge me with five-year felonies consecutively, all piggybacked on the same violation. They said they wanted to make an example out of me. And that part of it began November 5th of 2010, and it was adjudicated in, I believe, May of 2012. So during that time, I knew I was going to have to quit my job, and it was the hardest couple of years of my life because I absolutely loved what I did. So because of my choices and my mistake that I made by tagging it after the fact, I didn't want the hide to go to waste, and I don't believe in wanton waste of anything. I had to give up my dreams here, and all the kids that I had at camp here kind of have a tough go of it, but at least I'm going to be able to do it in Montana. I had to pick up myself by the bootstraps, start over, and that I did. So I'm doing well now. Adversity sometimes can thrust you into a more creative lifestyle, and I do very well under adversity. So everything happens for a reason. I don't regret shooting that wolf for a second because I'm alive to still do the best I can do and do good things in my life. So my yard is now grown up to weeds, part of it anyway, and I had an RV campground down there at the Lake Michigan shoreline, and my youth camp is now in disarray. But I'm packing up, moving to my cabin in Montana. I'm going to start over there at my youth camp, and I'll also be living in Alaska in the summers, making money to facilitate everything. So I just thought I'd give you a little glimpse into my life and what I'm doing today.